meds, and you'll be all right.
Well, I'm sorry your dog was feeling ill, but you're that's why you're gone yesterday, and
Yes.
I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't know how sad it was going to be, so I just left you alone and everything because you never know with dogs,
I know. Normally, when it gets to the point where they're, in pain and they're collapsing, it's bad.
Yeah.
But he's going to be okay.
I'm very happy.
Well, thank you.
Meanwhile, Nikki did a hell of a job yesterday.
Not really, but that's okay.
No, there were Nikki. I don't know. Did you see the comments and stuff? There were really positive comments about you.
No, I didn't.
And I'll tell you what, I'm paraphrasing, but there were 3 or 4 that were like, I am amazed at how well Nikki did. I don't know how shitty a job you usually do, but people were amazed. They were amazed at how good you did yesterday. They're like, oh my God. I said,
Stop it.
Nikki really surprised me by how good she was. There's a lot of comments like that yesterday. A lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's not.
They're going to the chat room now. Brent says, I think Nikki did a great job yesterday.
Like, you believe anything Brent does?
Well, I'm just saying that a lot of people were like, I am really shocked. I didn't know Nikki could provide so much. She really did a nice job. There was one that said, hey, I
got to tell you how my morning started already.
How was it?
I went outside because I went to McDonald's to get my McCoke. And there was a decapitated bird behind my car.
Good Lord.
What decapitates a bird?
Cats.
Yeah.
And they just left it there?
Well, what do you want to do? They're not going to throw it in the garbage.
The head was there and the body was there.
Oh, it just ripped it off and left it?
Yes.
Well, what do you want them to do? Throw it in the garbage? They don't know.
It's gross.
Whatever animal decapitated a bird, what do they care?
If it was a bird, if it was a cat getting the bird, I thought he would eat it.
I take back all those compliments, everyone. I take them back. On behalf of all you.
I'm just telling you, that's how my morning has started.
All the compliments of it. And I like how I went to get a McCoke. So the first thing you do, and I bet it's one of those gigantic sized.
You have me overmodulated.
I don't know. I have no idea what you are.
Well, they're saying in the chat
yell.
room that I'm popping and I'm loud and it's scratchy.
Well, you're too loud. I know that.
Well, then fix it.
But I like how I have to fix your volume issues.
I don't have the volume on my phone.
You can talk softer. There's no volume issue?
No, I can't.
I just want to mention there's no volume issues with Doran. She's been on.
Somebody else said that my mic is distorted.
Hi, Doran.
Hello.
Yeah, there's no volume issue. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
No volume issue. There's only one volume issue.
What do you want me to do about it?
That's with Mick Loud. She's got the volume issues. There you go.
I could hang up and go back to McSleep.
Yeah. I bet you got like a gigantic Coke.
Yeah, I did.
I bet you got one of those Cokes. I bet it's so big you could wash your hair in it if you wanted to.
Oh, good God.
I remember going to McDonald's, and it wasn't that long ago. I was coming home. This is when I was working. And my daughter says, Dad, can you get, and it was a day that I wasn't working out, so I don't know what the details were, because usually I worked out right after the show. My daughter texts me, says, Dad, can you stop by McDonald's and get me blah, blah, blah. So it must have been after workout I was coming home. And I said, yeah. So I stopped by McDonald's, and I got my daughter, and I think she wanted nuggets or whatever it was. And so I pull in, and I grab the and I order the McNuggets, and I say, and hey, let me get a Coke, because she wanted a Coke too. And what size, sir? I'm like, I don't know. Whatever. And I'm like, whatever you got, you know. I'm like, I just give me a Coke, whatever. And they go, oh, it's dollar whatever. There was a time they were doing dollar sodas or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Any
they
size for a
still are.
dollar.
So I'm like, well, just give me the the biggest one or whatever. And I'm thinking it's gonna be like you know. They give me this gigantic. This freaking Coke was. My daughter could have taken
32 ounces, I believe.
She could have taken a bath in it. That's how big this cup was. It was gigantic. It was like this. Literally, I had to lift it with 2 hands. And I'm like,
Aww.
my
And
daughter.
then it has like the great big top on it, but then it's tapered at the bottom so it can fit in your cup holder. I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
My daughter is she's barely over 100 pounds. And she's, you know, I mean, she's an adult, but she's, you know, she's still really small. And I'm like, oh my God, what is she gonna do with this? I'm like, she'll still be drinking this till tomorrow. But I'm betting that's what I'm betting that's what you you got today.
It's a 32 ounce.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You go out and grab it up.
Some people have to have coffee in the morning. I have to have Coke.
That's horrible for
Preferably a Mick Coke.
and it's not a diet.
Why?
It's a
No,
regular.
I'm not drinking diet.
Oh, well, please! How dare I? Please, you're worse.
You know, Coke is bad enough. Diet Coke is even worse.
I was,
That's
you
what
know,
I've heard.
I made there was a conversation I had with my wife. My wife never eats. She doesn't eat. And, you know, I struggle with my eating every day. I'm so freaking fat. It's just disgusting. But I'm, you know, I'm fasting and trying to lose weight and all this stuff. And I go to my wife and I'm like, you never, I said, how? I said, you never eat? Because there are like, I intentionally fast, okay? My wife unintentionally fasts. And
Well, she's probably just so busy she forgets to eat.
well, I'm telling her,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. She does. She just doesn't eat. She forgets to eat. But there are several times a week. My wife is so busy or so tired that she just, and I go, you got to eat something. And she goes, no, I'll just go to bed hungry. And she goes, I'm more tired. She says, a lot of days I'm just more tired than hungry. And that made sense to me. I was like, well, you know what? Yeah, if you know, if you got your choice, sometimes you'd rather sleep than eat. But I go, you know, how do you not? And I go, and I didn't mean it as an insult, but it sounds as I'm insulting it now. As I'm retelling the story now, it sounds kind of insulting. So I'm sorry for that. It sounded that way. But I go, how the hell do you not weigh? You know, because I'm like, the way she eats, she should be emaciated. You know what I mean? She literally will just not
Right.
eat.
Eats like a bird.
Yes, she should look like you know. She should look like she's working on the railroad or something, you know, like some sort of indentured servant. And she says, you know what? She goes, and even my wife knows. She goes, it's those fucking Cokes.
Mm-hmm.
Because she goes, every morning my wife doesn't drink coffee. She drinks Coke. She says,
That's what I do.
she goes, it's just the sugar in those Cokes. And you could tell, and I could really tell him like, oh, she hates the fact that that she drinks those Cokes. You could really tell that she wishes she didn't have to drink them, but I think it's an addiction.
Oh,
It is. You
Yeah.
get addicted to the caffeine.
Yeah. And she goes, "It's
I'm
those."
kind of the same way with Mountain Dew.
You drink regular?
Oh,
you
oh
drink-
my God. Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I was talking to my wife, and she goes, "It's the fucking Cokes." So Nikki, you're telling me, you're telling me in the morning you wake up and you drive to McDonald's and get a Coke.
And McDonald's is like a block and a half away.
Well, why wouldn't you? Literally, you have to take a bath and you needed something to take the bath in. You got the Coke. Now you got the Coke can or the Coke.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is,
Coke.
right?
And literally,
I need to take a bath and Coke.
they cost you 50 cents. So why wouldn't you? It's 50 cents to get a Coke
It's $1 to get a Coke.
or whatever.
But here in the building, we have a Coke machine. They want $1.40 for a 20-ounce. So it's cheaper, and you get more if you go to McDonald's.
God's sakes.
Yeah.
Does McDonald's Coke taste different than other
Yes,
fountain Coke?
It's-
Okay, why is that? I've heard that before, but what is that?
it has to do with their filtration. I saw an article on it.
Oh, here we
So
go. Now she knows. She is an expert.
They even store the pods or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
They store them in refrigeration.
Uh-huh.
And so they're constantly being
Where did
filled.
you read this imaginary article? In Bullshit
Yahoo.
Magazine? Where did you read this?
Or Google.
The science behind the McCoke.
Jason, what?
And something about their straws. Their straws are bigger than other straws because you get more when you suck on it
So
in
you-
your mouth.
You're saying there is even more fattening to drink at McDonald's
Right.
because the straws are bigger. Where are you getting
Yeah.
the Mountain Dew from, Jason? Where do you get I don't even know who sells Mountain Dew. Which restaurant sells it?
Well, I don't like buy the fountain ones that
Oh.
often. I usually just go grab a bottle or something.
Oh, you grab
at
one of those
the
big
gas
green.
station on the way to work.
You grab one of those big meat green monstrosities. It's amazing. You have,
20 ounce.
it's amazing you have all your teeth. You know who likes his
See,
Mountain?
Brent's reading about it right now,
You know who likes his
and he
Mountain
says
Dew?
I'm right.
You know who likes his Mountain Dew?
Who would that be?
Hillbilly Joe.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Why do you think he has to get those fake teeth?
Yeah.
Him and
There might be other
dog food
reasons,
lady.
but
In my interviews with dog food lady throughout the years, she's always like, "I love my Mountain
Drink
Dew."
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I don't drink soda, so I can't partake in the conversation.
Bubba's-
I
Sorry.
wish I didn't.
Bubba says a friend of mine only drank Mountain Dew and had to go to the hospital because his nuts swelled the size of grapefruits.
What the heck?
They told him it was too much Mountain Dew.
Too much Mountain Dew will make your nuts swell.
I had a nut
Seriously?
swell.
I find that very difficult. to
Listen,
believe,
I
'cause
once
drink
had a
stuff
nut
like
swell.
water.
It had nothing to do with Mountain Dew.
What did you do?
I just had big
What
nuts.
made your nuts swell?
I forgot
Please
what
tell us.
I forgot what it was. I forgot what it was. It was because
Sitting on them too much.
no, I was doing a band gig or something, and I can't remember what I did. I don't know if I zipped something up. I might have accidentally. I was wearing tight jeans, and I think I zipped up.
You
And
zipped up a nut?
I zipped up my nuts in my jeans or so. I can't remember what it was, but
God.
it was it was back when I was working at the at Midwest Family, and it was not this last time I was fired. It was the time before. So it would have been like around 2011, 2012, somewhere in there. My nuts swelled up. It was just one of them. It literally swelled up the size of, I can't even describe it. It swelled up the size of,
Gauge it next to something like a tennis ball, a
oh
baseball,
yeah, it was
grapefruit.
like
I
a
mean,
softball.
holy shit.
It was, I can't even describe how big my nut was. It was gigantic. One of my testicles was normal sized,
Okay.
and the other one was gigantic. I can't even explain it. We went to I was doing a broadcast at Shields. We were doing one of those marathon broadcasts. I hated those things that we did at MAY, you know what I mean? And we were doing this broadcast, and my wife had to come get me and take me to the emergency room because I couldn't even sit. It was so bad, and they took me, and so they undid my pants in the emergency room to get my ball out, and it was the size. Even the nurses even the nurses were like, "Oh my God, this is the most unnatural thing I've ever seen." It was gigantic. One was the size of like a softball, and the other was normal.
Did you walk crooked?
I couldn't even walk. No, I could. It was so bad. It grew so bad, and it was out of control.
Out of
What
control.
did they do for it?
There was nothing I could do. It literally, it started growing, and it grew a little bit, you know, over like this is like over a few days time. And
swelling thing is true, then Ben would not be
What is that?
There's a
What is
conversation
that?
going on in the background. I don't know what's
My
going on.
wife was saying something to me.
Well, tell her to be
From the
quiet.
distance.
I'm talking about my nuts. So no, Doran, it was like over a 4-day period. My
But
ball.
did they give you any anti-inflammatories? Did they put you to ice it?
Well, eventually, what happened was they were bringing in various needles, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on with the needles?" And
Were they going to drain it or what? What were
this
they doing with the
this
needles?
ER doc comes in, and she was very attractive, if I remember. Because they give you, like, after I got naked, they gave me this little washcloth looking thing to throw over, you know. And then the doctor comes and she goes, "I'm about to look at it," so she says, "You could put that over the parts you don't want me to, you know, to see, whatever." So I have to put my penis inside, or, you know, cover it with this thing to literally, the only thing poking out was, you know what I mean? The testicle was visible. And then she starts handling it, and she goes, and she goes, "This is as big as I've seen." Because in 4 days, it just kept growing and growing. And then in that one day, it like got out of control. Like, it grew in that particular day, it doubled in size. It was
Oh my
massive.
God.
I can't even describe how big it had
Oh.
become.
Good
And I
Lord.
thought,
I don't know how you people deal with those things.
well,
How do you even walk with nuts between your legs?
she says, so the doctor says, she goes, "Here's what we're going to," she goes, "I don't want to drain it." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want you to drain anything." So she said, I think
Oh
she
my
gave me a
God.
shot, and then she said, "We're going to put you on these antibiotics." And because it was some kind of infection is what the bottom line was. And
That sounds horrible.
yeah, it's so, but the antibiotics is what did it. Like, I don't think the shot, because I did get a shot, but I can't remember what.
Oh, did they put a needle in your nut?
No, they
sack?
didn't put it in my nuts, and they didn't put it in my nut
Oh.
sack. They put it.
Oh,
'Cause
I couldn't imagine.
I don't remember a needle going into my nuts, but it was somewhere down. I asked my wife was in the emergency room. She actually witnessed where the shot went. Now, I don't know it. They could have put it in my nuts. I don't know, but because I couldn't see everything, but it was crazy.
oh my God.
But so they put one initial thing, and then they gave me these antibiotics, and literally these antibiotics were the size of, they're the biggest antibiotics I've ever taken in my life.
We
were
call those horse pills.
they were
Like,
horse-
Big enough
Yeah.
for
yeah,
horse.
they were horse
pills.
tablets. Like I had to have a full mouth of water just to take, just to take the pill. That's how big they were.
Goodness.
But
You need a
literally
Sigma Coke.
in 2 days, I think the first day it had shrunk, about half the size or whatever. And then, so it took about 3 days. It went back to normal.
Oh my goodness.
But then I'll be
That's
honest.
horribly painful.
I think
Horribly painful.
I think when it was all said and done, I think it actually became smaller.
Shrunk your nut?
Yeah, I think my nut started out.
Nut.
It started
Yeah,
out one
something that-
size. It swelled up to this gigantic size, and now I think they're smaller than they were before.
Oh my God. Well, since we're talking about nether regions, did you hear about that guy in Cambodia that went swimming naked?
Oh yeah,
You
and
know
like
about
something flew up his a leech, went up
Yeah.
his penis, right?
Yes, a leech swam up his penis and got in his bladder, and he didn't really notice it until he tried to go to the bathroom, tried to pee, and
Yeah.
he was in a horrible amount of pain. And they stuck a camera up his pee hole and found this leech in his bladder, and he was so weak that leech they assumed had consumed a pint of his blood.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just don't go swimming
my
naked
butt.
in Cambodia.
Oh,
Don't pee in the water.
I mean that's horrible, right? Oh.
I mean,
my
it had to be horrible pain. I mean, that's scary.
I saw the app they when they took the leech out or whatever. I saw the
Yeah,
picture
I'm
of the
looking at
leech.
the picture now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was all. It's like,
Yeah.
how did you not notice that swimming up?
No, right? It's a pretty good size.
That's
Ah.
a big pee hole.
Yeah. Yeah, and said the removal was complicated by the fact that had ballooned up to a much larger size after sucking a pint of the victim's blood.
Oh.
Hence his pain while urinating. Not only that, but he had already injured parts of the man's organs with its teeth, according to
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, how did he not know? How was the
I don't
leech getting in
know.
there?
It's just, I guess, well, leeches come in all sizes, but I guess it was small enough that it was able to get up the pee hole, and then
How did you not notice something swimming up your pee hole?
the doctors were forced to use a tiny probe with
Yeah.
electric nodes and cutting tools to kill the leech before they yanked it back out the way it
Oh,
came. My God.
then they had to go inside the penis and pull it out. Oh my God.
Mhm.
And we thought kidney stones were bad.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
That's just
Oh,
horrible.
it just seems horrible. I can't even fathom like a catheter.
Oh,
And I know some people that have had catheters. I couldn't even imagine a live.
eating your insides,
A
sucking
leech.
the blood.
I was gonna say an insect, but a leech is not an insect, is it? It's a
No, it's an invertebrate.
how in that? I mean, I don't even know. Good Lord. That's like, did you see there was a guy, it's a guy in
Mm.
China or whatever that sat on an eel or some fish went up his
Eel in
ass.
his
Did you
butt.
see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how in
How
the
does
hell?
that happen?
He claims he sat on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but
Just getting a little crispy with it.
yeah,
Sat on it with a tube holding it open or something.
I don't know what it was doing up the
Oh my
guy's
gosh.
ass.
Yeah, so doctors had to remove an eel from a drunk man's anus,
Yeah.
who refused to reveal how the massive fish actually got there.
What? I mean,
Because a sober man wouldn't do anything like that.
yeah.
And it's a swamp eel, and apparently they're a lot larger than. Oh, somehow a swamp eel had squirmed into the man's body. Right.
Why
causing
would
an
you?
obstruction.
I know a lot of times they're like, what these guys end up doing it on purpose, but it's like,
Oh yeah.
who's looking at an eel and says, oh, you know what? I bet that would feel good up my ass. You know,
slimy, wriggly thing.
yeah. Who the
I
hell?
can think of one person, but he's no longer with us.
Who would think that would go, like that would work being stuck up your ass?
I don't know how I got there.
Up my butt.
Hey,
I have no idea
just get it out.
why they would think. I don't know what the hell you got going on that you would think that would feel good up there, but and they end
I
up
don't
going to the
know.
hospital.
Fix
And
it.
they have to get them removed.
Gotta get it removed.
That's how you get rid of it. That's how you get an eel out of your ass. And Jason, are you drinking a Mountain
I
Dew now?
do get an eel out of your ass.
Are you drinking a Mountain Dew now?
Yes, I am.
I mean, how many of these things do you have every day?
It varies. I mean, there's days where I go without it, but
Do you
Oh,
get a
so
headache?
You
if
can't.
don't
You
have it?
can go without it.
no, not really. No, I can go without it.
Oh.
I said there's days that I can go without it.
Because my wife was. I think she was having the conversation with me. She was depressed because I don't think she can go without it. She needs that Coke. Because I
Yeah,
think, you know,
I don't need that bad.
Nikki, do you need that Coke?
Now that I don't have cigarettes, you betcha.
Yeah, she has to have it. She has to have that giant
But I
vat,
become
that
cranky,
vat
Nikki.
of Coke that she bathes herself in.
So I don't know
I like
how good
trouble.
that would be for your skin because that stuff can eat the corrosion off a car battery.
Yeah, I've cleaned
Yes,
car
it does.
batteries
I've done it before.
Mhm.
Nikki doesn't care. She drinks it. Drinks it down. Gigantic size.
Yep,
My wife does too, though.
like the bubble.
And I know it bothers her because she's convinced. She's like, she goes, she says that she goes. That's why I've had weight gain. She blames the Coca-Cola company. I mean, I know I've got weight gain because I can't stop eating. I'm too fat and I just can't stop eating. But she's got it because of Coke. However, my wife made I'm going to applaud myself. My wife made a casserole for work.
Mhm.
And before she left, she goes, "Do you want a piece of casserole?" And I'm like, I better not.
What type of casserole?
Some type of breakfast casserole
Oh, yum.
with eggs and some type of sausage and all kinds of. It's
yeah.
a big casserole, and
This
it
is
smells.
wonderful.
It smells amazing. I can smell it now, even though she's gone. I can still smell it.
Well, the eggs and the sausage aren't bad for you, Ray.
I
Protein.
know I can't eat till afternoon.
So was
Oh,
that the
the
same
fasting.
casserole you were eating on air the other day?
No, the casserole the other day was chorizo.
Oh.
But the other day
It's what?
I
What
ate
was
chorizo and eggs.
Okay.
A casserole the other day. But what happened was the day before I had that, I had stopped eating at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I could have a piece of casserole at, 8 o'clock. When I stopped eating at 4 in the afternoon the day before. Yesterday, I fell asleep. I took a nap. So I ended up eating at like 7 o'clock last night. Although I didn't eat a lot, but I still ate. So it's just I can't eat again till afternoon. So I have to fast so long for it to work. But I'm telling you, it was really hard to not want to have some of that casserole today. So I thought I'd share it. So if anybody wants to congratulate me,
Congratulations. There
thank
go.
you, Nikki.
That's on the back.
Thank you. I was expecting one of you to do it. I mean, I know Jason's in the middle of devouring his Mountain Dew, but
Oh yeah.
at least one person could say one good thing about me not eating the casserole. I mean, good Lord.
Now you're going to want it all day long.
Yeah, you're gonna obsess about it now.
Oh, yeah.
that you
When it
brought
comes
up.
time, and then when it comes time to eat, there's going to be no casserole. I'm just going to be like, oh, damn.
Of course, there's not going to be any left.
Well, no, she took it to work. There's not even here in the house. It's not here,
That's what
Mark.
I'm saying.
She took it with her.
And
So.
you bring them back an empty pan.
Yeah, no. And that's what when she takes stuff to work, it's gone. And usually I get none of it. So, but I couldn't because I ate too late yesterday. Like if I would have skipped, if I wouldn't have eaten after my nap, I could have had some today. I'd have been fine. But
You could have taken a piece and then ate it at lunch for your meal.
I probably could have done that, but I couldn't trust myself. Because the second the show, this at 9:30, the show is over, I would have found it. I would have found it and eaten it.
Oh,
So I know
Lord. You
I
gotta
know
learn
how
to
I am.
control yourself.
I know how I am.
There's no hope. There's no hope for you.
Yeah, why don't you just not drink a Coke today, Nikki?
I've already started. Too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't you know how easy it is? It's very hard to not eat, but I do it every day now. So. At least I'm not drinking. Jason's on his second 2 liter bottle. He's at liter number 4 of his Mountain Dew.
I haven't had that many.
I bet you've had like a cold 2 liter where you're just drinking from the jug. Admit it.
Not in one sitting.
Admit it.
Not in one sitting.
Okay, but I bet there's no glass.
The 1 liter bottles, yes.
I bet there's
The
no
one-
glass.
one
I bet
cigarette,
you
sure.
literally have just the bottle. And you
No, not right now. No.
and I bet you've drinking from the bottle.
Well, usually I'm the only one that drinks it, so yeah.
Yeah. I bet you've drank from the bottle. This Mountain Dew.
Taking on them.
Why dirty a glass? I mean, if you're going to drink
Yeah.
the whole bottle, I'm that way with
Yeah.
wine. Sometimes I don't even
Why
dirty
dirty
a
the
glass.
glass?
Yeah, just drink it out
Hey
of the bottle.
man, this
Fine.
Mountain Dew ain't cold enough. CODE. This Mountain Dew ain't cold enough. Oh, look, he's drinking. That's the glass you're drinking out. Did you just see that glass he's got? Good Lord.
What the hell is that?
That glass is like 1.5 liters.
It's there's 2 cans in it.
Good.
2 cans. That glass will hold 2 cans.
Oh my
24
God.
ounces.
It'll hold 3, but I only have 2 in there.
Oh my God. I bet it's horrible. I bet you fart up a storm.
What does that have to do with soda?
I don't know. I'm just feeling sorry for his family right now
Oh.
as I see him take a drink out of that. Do you ever go, this ain't code? Make your poor
Say
wife.
what?
This ain't code.
Oh.
I got to get it code again. Make your poor wife go walk it to the freezer or something. I can see him.
Well, if it's got 2 cans in it, maybe for Christmas his wife can buy him one of those little hats that you put the can on each side and the straw comes down around his ear into your mouth.
Little beer hat.
God.
Yeah, from now
Oh
on.
my
From
God.
now on, Jason has to wear that when he does the show.
Oh.
Yeah,
Just
I don't know if I can get the
it's
headphones
Mountain Dew on demand.
over that.
and no, you said nobody else at your house will drink it.
Not usually, no.
Do you get angry if you ever like if you come home and you're out for some reason?
No.
Okay.
I just find something else to drink.
Because I know that Hillbilly Joe would be like, "Who's been drinking my Mountain Dew?" Somebody's
I don't
So
know.
he can write a apology letter.
somebody's ass is gonna get beaten. Oh man. Your wife is in the chat room. She says the Mountain Dew ain't nothing now. Kool-Aid is a whole different story. Are you drinking Kool-Aid too?
I do on occasion.
Oh my
I'm
How
not
much-
drinking it right now.
God.
How much sugar do you put in it?
A lot.
What, his body? How much sugar do you put in your body?
Too much.
Oh Oh my goodness.
Good
You have
Lord.
the diabetes written all over
Yeah,
you.
I think he's a postman, so thank God.
So you're out walking it off.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
But I'm saying if you were
okay.
if you were like somebody that worked in a desk for like 8 hours a day, you'd weigh 500 pounds. You'd be bigger than me.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever just drink like cold water?
3 cups of
Yeah,
sugar.
I drink water too. Yeah. I say I drink water more when I'm on the route.
That's what I like is just plain cold water.
I like water with
I don't like
lemon.
cold water.
And you ever have water with cucumbers in it?
No, I've never
I know
had
it
that.
sounds really gross, but it's really good.
I know some people who have that regularly in the summer, especially. Oh, and my mother's always put a slice of lemon in it. You ever go to lunch with?
Makes you pee more.
Oh, if you ever go to lunch with that woman, is that what it does?
Yeah, lemon's a diuretic.
Oh, I want a slice of lemon. Yeah, but I've gone to lunch with my mother where, okay, and on a true story, I go to lunch with her at some cafe, and you know what? I want some lemonade, okay? And then she looks at the menu and goes, "Oh my God, how much do they want for lemonade? Son of a bitch! They want an arm and a leg just for a glass of lemonade." And I'll be like, just get it. And then the waitress comes over. I'll just have water. But do me a favor, hun. Bring me some lemon over. So the woman, what they do is they bring like water with a slice of lemon in it. And then she starts going, "Can I have some more lemon?"
She does not sit there and make her own lemonade. At the table.
Yes. And then she goes, "Can I have some more
I know
lemon?"
people who have.
And literally they bring like a bowl of like 8
Of
fucking
lemon.
slices of lemon over, right?
Ah,
And then she starts squeezing, and I'm sitting there embarrassed going, "What are you doing?" She's squeezing the lemon and then she's making like a lemon shake up in the restaurant.
oh, for God's sake! So she actually asked for like another cup with like ice and sit there and like shake it. Like
And then she goes,
oh my God!
"I can't believe all they got's a goddamn equal. Where's whatever happened to real sugar? Excuse me, hun. Excuse me. Excuse me, hun. Excuse me. Can I have some real sugar? What country is this? Give me some real sugar." And she has
Oh,
basically made herself a glass of lemonade. After looking at the menu and deciding their lemonade, which is like, 75 cents or whatever, is too expensive. She ends up making herself a glass of lemonade. So she saved the money. But
3 cups of sugar in the. Oh.
whatever else, and I can't. She mixes it all together. It looks like a concoction. It just looks like a mess to get the lemonade. And I'm like, oh, for God, just order the lemonade. How embarrassing. Yeah.
Oh,
But I have done that, but
She's
she
the
has done
best.
that.
she's the best. She's still not social distancing. She's still out running amok.
She says that she's social distancing,
Mm-hmm.
but she isn't. Because if you go, she'll say like, "Oh, I haven't seen anybody in so long," and then you go to her Facebook page, and she'll talk to her friends like, "Oh, Nan or whatever, it was good to see you when you stopped by yesterday." I'm like, "What is this message?" And then she's like,
oh, it's fantastic.
and she's like, "Oh shit, I can't believe I put that." Because the worst one's my sister. My sister reviews her Facebook post to catch my mother in her lies.
in her life.
Where she's not social distancing. My sister will catch her in her lies daily. That's why mom claims that she's social distancing and not. But by the way, she's not the worst. Did I tell you guys about my brother-in-law? Did I tell you about my brother-in-law
No,
yesterday, Nikki?
Who's the worst?
Nikki, did I bring up my brother-in-law yesterday?
Yeah. No.
Oh, I
Wait,
did.
we talked about him on Wednesday. Isn't he?
Yeah.
What
He in
is
the
it?
hospital?
Yeah,
or-
he's got COVID. He has
He's
COVID.
got the COVID. Oh,
Yeah, I
Lord.
remember you mentioning that.
So my mother-in-law, who's 80, my wife has been telling her, wear a mask. Well, I'm not going to wear a mask. If President Trump doesn't wear a mask, I don't have to wear. If our president doesn't wear a mask, and he's your president too. There's a lot of that shit going on. If he doesn't wear one, if he doesn't have to wear one, then no, he has to wear one. He does. There's a difference in have to wear one or doesn't wear. He chooses not to wear one, but he has to wear one. And so her son gets COVID, and he was coughing, and
Oh,
so my wife is freaking out because, like, my mother-in-law went and picked up the kid, went and picked him up so he could go, and he's coughing in the car, right? And so my wife is like, have you been tested? She's like, no, I haven't been tested. She's like, you've got to get tested. Oh, I'm okay. It's just a little, I can't remember what she's saying. It's just a scratchy throat.
Just a little COVID.
And my wife is like, oh my God, get tested. You're probably positive right now. And she's like, I'm fine. I'll get tested eventually. And
well, just do it now. 'Cause
and-
you don't get immediate results.
And my
You know?
wife is she's livid. So my mother-in-law, even though my brother-in-law has COVID, he was sick. He still is sick, but he was in her car coughing, sneezing.
Oh, gosh.
She is trying to get the test. She says, I'll get it, because she's having a scratchy throat and, she's just got a slight cough. So my wife's telling her, you have to quarantine. What's quarantine?
Oh, Lord.
She's like, you have to quarantine. So here's how she quarantines yesterday. She gets up and goes and works out. And my wife's like, did you wear a mask? And she goes, it's hard to breathe with those masks when you're working out.
Oh, my God.
And my wife
She's
is,
asking for it.
Who's she working out with?
and my wife goes, were you wearing the mask? And she goes, no. And she goes, were you around anybody? She goes, just the people next to me on the treadmill.
Oh, God.
And my wife's like, oh my God. And then she's like, I went to HEB and I had a coughing fit. I don't know what caused this coughing fit. So then she goes,
Oh, good Lord.
my wife goes, what the fuck are you doing at HEB? She goes, why were you there? She goes, well, I had to pick up some things. And she goes, what were you picking up? She goes, oh, well, I had to. And my mother-in-law's got this gigantic list of grocery items that she went to go pick up at a HEB grocery store in Texas. And my wife's like,
Oh, my
did you wear the
Lord.
mask? And she goes,
And
no.
Texas is such a hot spot right now.
Yeah, and she goes, did you wear a mask? And she goes, no. And she goes, is that where you had your coughing fit? Yeah, right in the meat aisle. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Nah.
And so, then my mother-in-law goes, I should probably get that test. That's
Oh,
when
yeah.
she tells my wife. But I'm telling you guys, my brother-in-law went from a 98-degree temperature, all right, to 104 in a day. And he
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
he had been coughing for days before this finally kicked in.
Mm-mm.
And they live in Corpus Christi, Texas. So I don't know where he was when he got it, but it was because these people, all the restaurants are open.
Oh yeah.
People are running around. There's no mask. Nobody wears masks. They're running around getting each other sick. It's amazing. This is happening.
Well, it was bound to happen because they
amazing.
didn't shut down like we did. They didn't
No.
They didn't do what they were told.
My mother-in-law, she has not been affected in the least. Because my wife talks to her and she's like, and my wife will say things like, well, life's a little bit weirder now because of all the restrictions. My mother-in-law's, what are you talking about? And my wife's like, well, because we have to wear a mask and we can't, and that's not open. My mother-in-law's, why aren't your restaurants open? What do they treat you like animals? You can't even go eat at a restaurant? And my wife's like, well, of course you can't go eat at a restaurant. There's a pandemic. I don't know. What does that have to do with you guys eating at restaurants?
Oh, God.
My wife's like, they're trying not to spread it. And the people of Texas don't understand what you can and can't do. They have no clue.
They didn't follow any sort of guidelines like we
Yeah.
did. No phases of opening or shutting anything.
Yeah.
And now look at the mess.
Yeah, like
Arizona's the
like
same
this.
way.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So my wife's like pulling her hair out. She's so frustrated with them. She goes, oh my God. She gets on the phone. She goes, my mother is such an idiot. And I go, and I'm like, what? And she told me about the coughing fit. I'm like, oh my God. She goes, yeah, she's going to get everyone around her sick, but that's everybody. That's everybody in Texas. And Brent goes, how much Fox News is your mother-in-law? Listen, her TV only has one channel. Fox fucking News. I swear to God, when I went to her house, last time I was there, literally, I changed the channel, and it's the first time the channel had been changed ever. In fact, the Fox News logo was burned into their screen.
It was not.
I went over to watch a game, and
If
I
it
went
was
to
a plasma TV.
I went to watch a baseball game, and literally when I turned it over to the baseball game, you could see the Fox News logo in the outfield because the TV had never been changed. It's unbelievable. That's how much she watches that fucking Fox News, and she believes everything's fine. But my wife's like, she's like, oh my God. It's like exactly when they started, when my brother-in-law started showing these symptoms, my wife was like, oh my God, he's got COVID. My mother-in-law's like, what is that? My wife's like, COVID.
Oh, God.
She goes, what's COVID? She goes, the coronavirus. Oh, Keith, you think he's got the coronavirus? And my wife goes, yes. She goes, your brother doesn't have corona. He's not an immigrant. And it's like, oh my, what do you think? This is something just immigrants have? It's unbelievable how uninformed.
The mindset too is just, oh my goodness.
And so my wife's like, she goes, they have it. She goes, I'm talking to my mother on the phone, and you could hear her going, coughing. And it's everybody in
she
Texas.
doesn't.
And then you see these numbers. Did you see the numbers like yesterday? In
What, just
Arizona,
in Texas or
the
Arizona
numbers
or
in
how?
Arizona, it's staggering. I have friends in Arizona, and I
have friends and family there. I'm very worried.
I feel for them right now because these numbers are that scary.
I've got an uncle in Arizona too, and I'm starting to worry about that too myself.
I wouldn't leave the house.
No.
Unbelievable.
My friends in Tucson, Tucson is, well, they're pretty much on fire. Did you see the pictures of the hills
yeah.
when they were on fire from
Yeah.
that lightning strike? It was unbelievable. And then now it's crazy.
And the
I wouldn't want
numbers.
to be there, that's
the-
for sure.
I'll tell you what scares me is Florida scares me.
With the beaches and everything.
Yeah, because everybody and
My
their
friends
mother's
don't
going to
know.
fucking Florida. They're all in Florida.
I know. I've got friends there right now.
Oh, I know. I go to.
I do too.
I enjoy the bikini pics the people are putting up. until
However,
I see they're in Florida, then I'm like, oh. I hardly want to look at them. I hardly want to get boned up from looking. I don't want to rock hard from looking at their bikini pics, because I know they're in Florida. But all those people are going to go. You know they're going
TJ
to.
doesn't need to leave his truck.
You know they're going to bring it back here when they come back.
of course they are.
TJ.
Yeah, TJ's saying he's on his way to Dallas.
Uh-oh.
He drives a truck.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, don't get out of that truck, TJ. 'Cause my
Don't do
brother,
it.
my brother drives a truck too, and he's driven all over the country. And you know that they've got to be scared to death of getting COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they're going to Texas, Florida, or Arizona right now, because the numbers are insane. Did you see they're getting like over 3,000 cases a day in Florida?
A day.
Wow.
Those are new cases per day.
Wow.
And then the numbers in Arizona and Texas, it's insane. Yeah, I'm telling you. I feel for it. And like I said, I have a lot of friends in Arizona, and I just feel for them. It's got to be, it's got to be crazy. I'd be afraid to go anywhere. That scares me. It scares me. So be safe. Anybody who lives in, anyone who's living in those states, be careful. And now in South Carolina is another one that's having a big
I
problem.
wonder why South Carolina. Is it because people are traveling there
Yeah.
too? Or
I think I think that might have something to do
Myrtle
with it.
Beach.
Myrtle
Yeah.
Beach? Everybody going to the beach.
I'm telling you,
Is that South Carolina?
it's a Chinese
I-
flu, a kung flu. Did you see the president?
No, I
It's-
don't. I don't watch the news. I don't watch
He
any
was
of that.
I don't
giving a
either.
speech, and
What happened? Tell us what happened.
he goes, this that the Chinese virus, and they call it lots of names. They call it COVID-19. I don't know why they call it COVID-19. No one has told me
Yeah.
why it's 19.
Well, you could tell him. You told me.
Yeah, it's COVID-19 because the year it was discovered was 2019, you buffoon. You ignoramus. God damn.
Oh my God.
Oh. And then he says, it's kung flu because he's so witty. Racist. He's telling the racist humor, the kung flu.
So
Oh,
everybody's kung flu fighting, right?
it's unbelievable. It really, he says he didn't know why they called it COVID-19. Is there anybody that doesn't know why they call it that, right? I mean, everybody knows.
Isn't it coronavirus? What is the C for? It's short for corona.
What? I'm sorry. What do you say?
Did you hear anything I said?
No, you came in the middle of a sentence there. I don't know what you're saying.
What? Does anybody know what it stands for? And I started telling you.
Oh, the CO is corona. VI is
Corona.
virus discovered not
All right.
19.
He is covered. Okay.
Yeah. That's what it stands for. That's what COVID-19 stands for. But we've known that.
Yep.
We've known that since the beginning when they named it COVID-19. Because when it first
Yeah.
started, it was just called coronavirus.
But apparently our president doesn't know. Oh.
Our president's a buffoon. He's an ignoramus. And that's the whole thing about, he's cutting off the funding for these tests. He's like, we're going to stop paying for the tests because,
What?
yeah, this honest to God, his solution is less testing.
Well, what is that going to do?
It's not going to do anything.
All it's going to do is that if we don't do the testing, we won't get the proper numbers. So we really won't know where it's
Right.
spreading, how it's spreading. And that way, he just wants it to go away. And it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want the numbers out there. Ugh.
I had a conversation with someone 2 days ago. They're very pro-Trumper, which I'm fine with, but goddamn, don't be ignorant. And they were talking about this, and I said, the man said that we'll just test less and that'll cause the numbers to go down. And they were telling me, well, that makes sense. They said that makes sense. And I go, are you out of your goddamn mind? What do you mean that makes sense? It doesn't make any sense. It's not going to make the problem go away. They go, and I said, let me ask you, if you're pregnant and you don't get a test, are you still pregnant? Let me ask, Doran,
Yeah.
let me ask you, if you're pregnant and you decide you're going to do less testing, the numbers of announced pregnancies will be down, but guess what's going to pop out of your vagina 9 months from now?
Still a baby.
Yeah. You're still fucking pregnant.
Exactly.
By the way, that shut the person I was having the conversation up right away when they noticed that. And I said, I want you to think about just how stupid what you're saying sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's right, Ray, when he says there'll be less cases. I said, no. There'll be more cases.
Will still be there.
There'll be more cases we don't know about.
Cases.
It's not going to make the disease go away. It's just going to make the knowledge of the disease go away. If anything, we need more testing. We need to find out who's got it for sure.
Yes. Where it's at, see if we can trace it. I think if there's going to be a second wave, we're going to get it to ourselves.
Well,
if people don't start staying home, quit traveling state to state, just
here in
Yeah,
Illinois,
people.
we're going to phase 4 today because we have done everything we're supposed to do. We have been good citizens.
yes, we have. We did what we were told.
But the rest of the country is going to fuck us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because what's going to happen is there's all these people on vacation in Florida, and they're going to come back with disease, and it's going to start all over again. So we have worked our ass off to stop this stupid disease. We really have. And we've gotten the control over it. We still have it, but we've gotten the control over it because we have quarantined, and it's affected all our lives. So many of us have lost our jobs, and our way of life has been affected. I mean, unless you're, a huge corporation, they seem to be okay. When you're getting billions of dollars sent to you,
Right.
But I don't understand the stupidity
I don't either.
of people that agree with this imbecile saying if we test less people. And I know I usually don't talk about politics on the show, but it's so fucking stupid. I mean, how do you not talk about? I want you to. Here's what the man is saying. Well, if we just test less, the numbers will go down. That's how we're going to beat this disease. No, you dipshit. I told you, if you're pregnant and you don't get a test, I have news for you. What's going to happen in 9 months?
Still a baby.
Yeah.
There's the baby.
You're still going to get fat as a house in your vagina, and it's going to end with a big vaginal stretching. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, good God.
Oh.
and a little creature that shits itself that you got to take care of. Even if
Indeed.
you don't test, it's still gonna happen.
Yep.
And guess what?
It's gonna be a bit.
If they don't test you for COVID, for coronavirus disease, if they don't test you for COVID-19 that was discovered in 2019, if they don't test you for it, you still are gonna have problems breathing, and you still could die.
Mhm.
Just because you're not diagnosed doesn't mean you don't have it. It's the dumbest thing in the. I don't understand it. And I'll tell you, if I just got done quarantining for all these months, and if I have to go back and quarantine again because of you dumb shits in other states, I'll be extremely upset. Oh my God. Extremely upset. And that's the fear. When you look at Arizona and you look at Texas, you look at Florida and South Carolina and Oklahoma, I guess their numbers are flying up.
Wow. I don't know if those Western states just didn't think that it was going to reach them, since it seemed the main outbreak was, in the northeastern states. I don't understand.
And Bubba goes, he's still better than creepy Biden. Oh, for God's sakes. If you actually fucking think that, Bubba, I don't know what to tell you. If you're like, oh, Joe Biden's creepy. I don't care. I'll take anybody creepy over someone who says we're going to make it go away by not testing. Because that's just, I'll take creepy over ignorant. I can accept a lot of the bullshit the guy's done. How can anyone agree with his take on testing? It's the dumbest thing. It is the dumbest thing I've heard. And the dumb shit said a lot of stupid things, but this is beyond. I mean, it's unbelievable.
His feeble attempt to try to calm everybody down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it is.
That's not
And
how
it's
you
also
calm
just
them
showing
down.
How much of a narcissist he is, thinking of, if we just don't acknowledge it, I'll make it go away. I'll make the virus go away.
No, that's
No,
You don't
nobody's
make it
making
go
the
away.
virus go away.
And by the way, only Bubba would think that someone has said, I'm just going to grab him by the pussy is not creepy. Because that is creepy.
You only forget
Oh,
that.
my God. Just look at how just watch how he looks at his own daughter. Tell me that's not creepy.
Look at the pictures of him with those teenage girls on Epstein's Island.
Oh, my God.
That's not creepy.
Even Bubba goes, well, Trump does need to shut up. Yes, absolutely. You have people on that pandemic response team, which, by the way, he's dissolving the team.
Well, why?
And he
'Cause
said
it's still here.
he says it's over. Trump has decided COVID's over. So he's dissolving the pandemic response team, Dr. Fauci and the like. Just listen to him.
No.
Look presidential. Look presidential. And let the experts tell you things and listen to it. And
He has to know everything.
stop using as an excuse. Well, the economy's doing good, because it's not. It's not. And stop using it as an excuse and say, well, I don't mind if our country's a little racist because the economy's doing good. I don't mind if our country I don't mind if our country's a little bit this or that because the economy's good. That's just stop it. Just stop.
Shut up, please. Yeah.
But I don't want to get
Wow.
all politics. I just want to completely change the subject. But now I'm sure that there's been no doubt how I felt anyway, but that just makes me so angry when I hear him saying it'll go away. This is not how it's going to go away. Let me change subjects. Did you guys see?
Me too.
Did you see the T-shirt designs
Yes.
that
Oh my God.
Terry has been coming up with
Oh my
on
God.
the
did see
Morning
those.
Disaster page? Oh my God.
They're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Are you rock hard? That's my. That was the original one. That is
Oh.
fantastic. The Are You Rock Hard Morning Disaster T-shirt that he put up. And then he followed it up with Shave Your Snatch. Shave
Yeah.
your snatch for me.
That was fantastic.
He put the
It
Shave
looked
Your
like,
Snatch.
like a concert T-shirt.
And then, did you see the one he put up this morning?
No, I haven't yet.
No.
He put up Doran
Let me go check that.
Scissorhands.
What?
He put up
that.
Doran Scissorhands. Let me
Oh, wow.
let me take that. I want to share that in the chat room now so you guys can see it. Let me see if I can find it. He sent it to me. He sent a message to me with it in there, and it's hysterical. Oh, here we go. Doran Scissorhands is the latest one.
Are you going to put it up?
Yeah, there is so much attention to it. Here's the best part. He even used an old Carasodas Theater logo.
Really?
Which-
He's so creative.
That used
mean,
to be the theater in Springfield was
Mm-hmm.
Carasodas.
Before AMC bought him.
Yeah, and he even used a Carasodas logo. It was very funny. I'm gonna put it up in a second. Here we go. As soon as I get into the chat room.
Hey, I'm finally unfrozen.
I see that.
For the first time since, I don't know, 8:20.
Has she been frozen all this time?
I've been frozen the whole show until
The
now.
best part. He even used. Hold on, I'm trying to get in the chat room so I can share this.
I see that.
Here we
For
go.
the first time since, I don't know, 8:20.
Has she been frozen all this time? Oh, sorry, everybody. Sorry. When I got in the chat room, the logo was the show was playing. So here we go. Hold on.
This is the big leagues, Ray.
Yeah, you shut up. All right. Now, how do I put in the? Jason, how do I put the picture
Oh,
up?
come on.
You have to put the link to it in the.
Oh, I
in
gotta
the
put
chat
the- I
room,
gotta
'cause
put the
chat
link to
room's
it? Hold on.
Not set for pictures.
God damn it.
Oh.
So now I gotta find it again. I gotta
Oh,
come.
for crying out loud, Ray.
You be quiet.
Oh,
I don't need your sass.
I would say just post it in the pictures on the page. and
Hold
then
on.
everybody-
yeah, I would just
Yeah,
post it on the page.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on. Morning Disaster.
La, 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 la,
Oh, you be
la,
quiet,
la,
La, la, la, la, la, da, 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 da.
la, 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 la.
Are you rock hard? Bunch of bush leagues.
Hmm. Final Jeopardy.
All right, here we go. I'm putting it up on the Morning Disaster page right now. All right, there we go.
So how do we go about getting these produced?
Let's
Oh my God, Dorn, you're frozen again, and it's hilarious.
Oh, for fuck's sake. God damn it.
Is she frozen again?
Not on my screen.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
God,
moving.
it's hilarious.
She's not frozen again. Yeah.
You're frozen again?
Not on my screen. I can
Oh,
see
there,
it.
unfrozen.
No, she looks good
That
for
was the
me.
best one yet.
Was it?
No, I think you look good.
Oh.
Hold on, Dora. Stay right there. I got my wing out. I got my wing out. Stay right there just a second. Yeah. All right. I don't know. All right. So
Oh, great.
I shared the photo on Morning Disaster
page?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The Doran Scissorhands one. It's great.
That is hilarious.
So he's been making these shirts and posters and stuff. Now, the only one, by the way, the only one that I consider making is Are You Rock Hard?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that
that
was
is
great.
awesome. I see it now.
Yeah, because that's all us. I mean, that was invented on this show because of what that's the question that Nikki's thinking about every single guy that's listening to the show.
No.
Yeah, she spends the whole show just going, oh, there's a Chris. I wonder if he's rock hard thinking about me.
Stop it.
There's Brent. I bet Brent's just rock hard thinking about
Stop it.
my vagine. Nikki's like, oh, there's Bubba. I bet Bubba's rock hard. There's TJ. TJ's driving to Texas. And I bet he's playing with his bud because he's rock hard, thinking about me,
Behave yourself.
drinking my giant Coke naked.
Rare form. You're in rare form today, right?
I bet he's
Oh my God.
I bet he's thinking about me holding my giant Coke against my clitoris.
Oh,
Because-
Terry got a snapshot of your frozen face a while ago,
yeah.
and he just posted it.
Oh,
awesome.
are you kidding?
Where is it? Oh my God.
It's on your
I
Dorn
see it.
scissor hands.
I see it.
Is
That
it
was
on my-
great.
Yeah, that's great. Oh my God.
I look like I'm having a stroke.
Oh, I love it.
That is so unflattering. I'm just going to stop zooming. I'm just going to stop it. I don't know why it freezes like that. It's just like randomly hiccups. It just started this week. I don't understand why.
Are there a lot of people using your internet right now? Or?
No, myself and my son. That's it. That's it. No idea.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
not
well,
old enough to be
I'll figure it
watching. He's not old enough to be watching porn yet.
No, he's not.
I'm just saying, wait till he gets to be like 14, 15. Then we'll know what the problem is. But he's not
No.
old enough. He's not old enough for that to be the problem.
No. Yesterday, after I had to take the dog to the vet, he had to go get a physical for school. I figured just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And some of the questions that doctor asked him, he was so red-faced and embarrassed. And one of them was, are you sexually active? And he was like, oh, ew, no. Oh, it's like asking if he drinks
So
alcohol
you
or
were
does
you were
drugs. And
you
he-
were in the room when your poor kid has to get all that stuff done? Oh my God.
Yeah, I was in the room with him.
Oh.
I actually had to leave when they did the whole cough.
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah,
I wouldn't want to see any of that stuff. Oh my God.
yes, he is too young.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Don't.
Jason Vokes in there. You know, Nikki's thinking, oh, yeah, wonder if he's rock hard. Thinking about me. You rock hard.
Why don't you quit?
Adam's in the chat room, Nikki. He rock hard. Jeff's in
You
there.
would quit.
Jeff's in there. I bet Jeff's rock hard thinking about me.
I think you're getting rock hard thinking about it.
He
The
went,
way you sound.
I'm just laying here on the couch naked with my giant Coke.
Why am I laying on the couch naked?
I don't know. Because you're thinking about all these
Such a
guys.
weirdo sometimes.
All those guys are just rock hard thinking about me. That's why we started that's what started the rock hard. So I'm thinking
I didn't even remember.
Terry's t-shirt design, is that because a lot of people started going, oh, I'd buy that. That's funny. Ha ha ha. But is that something that people would really want?
Oh, I think so.
Because
I know a couple guys that do T-shirts. I can.
I was going to call Miles and just say,
Oh yeah, Miles too.
take a look at it. Give me what would that cost? I just
think
don't.
it all depends on how many you're going to have printed.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to. But in order to have the cost of the shirts be lower, you have to print
Right.
a lot.
Yeah. And then there's also upcharges for larger sizes.
Yeah. I mean, Bubba's like, I want a 5X or whatever. That's because it's a son of a bitch. It's a lot of material. That's going to be an expensive shirt. You know what I mean?
Well, can't you make the logo available, and then if they want the shirt, they can go buy the shirt?
Well, I
You
was,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, but I was wondering, do we want to actually, put shirts out there for people to buy? But it was a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. If it was profitable, we could use the funds to help boost the show.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to figure out a way to be smart about it.
But you don't want to lose your ass on it.
It's true.
Right.
I mean, Mr. Hitachi. I wanted to sell a vibrator, a Nikki line of vibrators, but it just wasn't cost effective.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I want to have a vibrator, and on the side, I want to put "Are You Rock Hard?"
A rock hard vibrator.
Yeah. But it just
Oh
wasn't
my
a good
God.
idea. It wasn't a good investment.
You buy those in bulk, they'd have to come from overseas, and then you could have, they'd be Rona vibrators and those.
Could you imagine someone actually doing marketing a vibrator, a logoed vibrator? Oh my God!
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think porn stars do that.
But a
I think
T-shirt,
porn stars do that.
a T-shirt would be, a T-shirt could be cost effective enough to where you get it done. And I love the idea that Terry had to, "Are you rock hard?" Because let's
He's a
face it,
genius.
that has become. If I asked you to describe this show, like give me one phrase that describes this show, that's one of the phrases you would give, right? And there have been
Oh, definitely.
there have been a lot of, since this show got going. The show's only been going for 50 some odd episodes. And we've created a lot of stuff in 50 some odd episodes. Telling you. And now, by the way, Terry just put another new shirt up.
Oh, God.
It's the
What now?
it's I'll let you guys look at it. It's a picture of Nikki and Mr. Hitachi.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Where?
The
Where
Mr.
is it? I
Hitachi
can't find it.
t-shirt. It just went up on Morning Disaster page. Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm like a floating head above the Hitachi. Floating face.
Are you rock hard?
oh.
And Nikki just uses that Hitachi now to stir that giant Coke she's drinking.
Uh-huh.
I want a giant Coke. I want a giant Coke cup with Nikki swimming in it.
Oh, stop it. No, the cup that Jason has is a lot bigger.
Yeah. Or Jason drinking Mountain Dew.
Hold that cup up again, Jason. Let me see that thing.
Look at that monstrosity. I mean, look at that.
That is way bigger than mine.
That's a pitcher. That is not a cup. That's a pitcher.
Who is drinking out of that? I mean, for heaven's sakes.
Oh my
You should be
God.
ashamed of yourself.
Just pop the top off the 2-liter and drink it.
Yeah.
Don't dirty the glass.
I just
Oh
need
my
to drink
God.
out of my 2-liter bottle.
It's hard to put ice in the 2-liter, though.
I've got one of those ice cube trays that has the long, like half moon shaped that they fit
long
in
rock
like a
hard
bottle.
ones that
Yeah,
fit in the
Yeah.
bottles.
the rock hard half moon ice cube tray. That's exactly what I have in my freezer. That's exactly what I have. You know all the things that sugar does to your body? I mean, honestly, you know what
Yeah.
it does to your brain?
He's gonna walk it off.
But still.
Well, he could still walk. At some point, Jason's gonna get to an age to where his knees won't work.
Well, diets full of like processed foods and a lot of heavy like sugar can increase the risk of depression by like 58%.
Oh,
You know that?
you can't tell he's depressed? For God's sakes.
Yes,
You know what it does to your genitals?
Yeah, he's wearing an NWO Wolfpack shirt in 2020. He's obviously depressed and drinking enough Mountain Dew.
Oh,
I mean,
well, excess sugar can impair your blood flow
yeah.
and upping the risk of having erectile dysfunction
Don't have that
in men and sexual
he
arousal
doesn't
disorder in women.
He doesn't have that. Nikki's envisioning right now, and he's rock hard.
Oh, Lord.
Kathy sent me a message. She said, maybe you guys could do coffee cups or beverage containers.
Mhm.
A lot of,
Cozy.
because you know what? You don't need, you can literally buy one size.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be good.
Think
Since
about
we all have our beverage fetishes.
Yeah. That way, it might make sense.
Yeah.
I should see someone about what it would cost to get coffee mugs made. Are you rock hard? And the Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster logo. And by the way, I love the logo that Terry came up with for the Morning Disaster.
You've been wanting one.
Yeah.
That's the logo. There it is, right there. That's an awesome looking logo. I've been going nuts trying to find the right logo. It's right there next to the Are You Rock Hard on that t-shirt. That's a good idea. We should put that on a coffee cup. I don't know who makes coffee cups now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's something that can be done online.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, does Miles, Miles makes t-shirts. I wonder if he could do the coffee cups too. I know it would be whoever could do, whoever does some kind of marketing. I'm sure that they would knock that out.
Well, what about
Are you rock hard?
like Go Cups? Like with like the pop tops, so people like if they're driving listen to us and stuff like that. You can't take a coffee mug in your car.
Jason's
I don't
not
know.
rock hard because he's been drinking too much sugar. But everybody else. By the way, Bubba's now changing he changed his Facebook profile photo into the t-shirt that Terry made. Are you rock hard? That's great. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Hysterical.
Say Eric in the chat is saying to look into Teespring. They do coffee mugs and T-shirts.
I don't know what's Teespring. Is that a website?
Yeah, it's like online product retailer. They print all the stuff for you and ship them directly. You don't even have to hold inventory, I don't think.
Let me just license it to somebody else. I'll license a Morning Disaster name and somebody else can make it and make the profit from it. There you go. Maybe that's how we'll do. But anyway, the shirts he's making have been the highlight of the week. Have been these shirts that he's made because they're so funny and they've made my week. As much as the COVID spike has ruined my week, his shirts have made my week.
Very creative, that Terry, I tell you.
There's a lot of people are vacationing in COVID hotspots and they're coming back here to Illinois. So, but today is today when we go to phase 4, right?
Today is the day.
Today we're going to phase 4, which means what for you guys?
Which means I'm going bowling this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. The bowling alleys are going to open up. Dorn, what does it mean for the haircuts? Is it changing anything?
I don't think it changes much of anything for us, actually.
You're going to stay with what you're doing already?
Yeah. What I've been doing has been working, and everyone's comfortable with it. So
I know Fit Clubs.
Don't fix it if it's not broke.
Fit Club's opening up to everybody. So
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I tell you, but I've been going in Fit Club for, the last month.
But it's just one-on-one, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. It's if you have a private session with your trainer, you get to go in. So now what they're going to do is they're going to let everybody in, but they're not letting. It's not going to be do whatever you want to do. There are certain machines that are closed down, because I was in there yesterday and they were getting ready for it, and I saw how they were doing it. It's like every other machine is shut down, so there won't be people running on treadmills next to each other like my mother-in-law is doing in Texas.
No.
They'll be on one treadmill, then the next treadmill will be closed down, and then the treadmill a couple treadmills down will be open. So you're still 6 or 7 feet away from the next person working out. But they're going to let everybody in. And then, they prefer you wear a mask and all that stuff.
It's got to be so hard to breathe when you're working out with a mask on.
No, it's really not. It's not. I'll tell you, it's really, well, it depends on what kind of mask you're wearing.
That's true.
But if
I
you're-
have to wear like the paper ones. That's some really cute cloth ones.
Yeah.
But I cannot cut hair and blow dry long hair, especially blow drying. It's just, I overheat. I get too hot.
I got to be honest. I would like having a mask on when getting my hair cut, because that goddamn hair goes everywhere. Oh, it goes. I hate it.
Well, it's funny because I am doing clipper cuts. I have these, well, they're my Oster 76s. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but they're very power driven. They're like barbering clippers, and there's an exhaust on them, and it blows the clippered hair back at me. It's amazing when I take my mask off how much of that clippered hair it actually kept from going in my nose and my mouth.
Yeah, that you're breathing
crazy.
in normally. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's craziness.
They're talking
Well,
about.
speaking of hair, I need to rock and roll.
All right.
Everybody have a really good weekend.
Me too.
All right.
Enjoy
Bye.
phase
Okay.
4. By the way, TJ saying, or Adam is saying, Vic Sausage should come back in t-shirt form or something, Remember, Vic was on the other day, and what he was saying.
That everybody loves the taste of his ass, right?
Everyone can eat my ass. This donkey sausage. Come eat my ass. Because Vic.
Mm-hmm.
I was ass eating before it was cool.
I say, is his grandmother still chained to the
Yeah, she's still chained.
boxer and the?
Yeah, Grandma's still, she's chained now for safety reasons. Because if she falls now, she could hurt herself. I don't want her to hit her head on the concrete in the basement. So I chain her now for her own safety.
We don't need her having to have another wheelchair and start.
No,
slacking again.
she sits on a bucket. So I save time on bathroom breaks. So she sits on a bucket, makes a sausage, churns it out. She takes care of it. My grandma, we judge by the feet how much sausage she churns out. She churns out about 25 feet a day, Jason. That's how much sausage she's putting out for the masses. But I just want to say that I've been eating ass since the 1980s.
No, good God.
Nikki.
Vic is running late.
I'll eat that ass. By the way, can I point out, you guys might hear that sound in the background. Joining us for the first time since it's been a couple of weeks since he got angry at me.
I'll say, is he still mad at you? Or?
He's now decided to join us back again. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to Sean Balint.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
How are you, Sean?
Just trying to, just trying to collect a paycheck. You're gonna get
Good old SB.
you. There are things in my past that perhaps should be left in the past.
I will not talk about the sloppy. I will not talk about sloppy vaginas and the like. I
Oh
promise.
my word! Yeah, that in my mouth.
I promise. I will.
Hey, you see what? When I got intoxicated, you never know what I would say or what secrets I might share that I normally
I will say
wouldn't.
you never drank at lunch. You're never.
I played.
We'd never
I
go
always
out
played
to
it
lunch
safe
and
in
have
that
you.
regard.
Yeah, we'd never go out to lunch and have you drink get up at lunch. You were very classy.
Yeah, most of the time.
I'll just say you were very sober. I'll say you were very sober when you said
Yes.
that person had a sloppy vagina. I'm not sure if I'm helping her,
Well, you know.
but I won't talk about it. I'm certainly not going to bring anything
I'll
up
be looking over
that would anger you.
I'll look over my shoulder next time. You know.
And Nikki,
That's
Nikki
something
has
people don't think.
Nikki has a question for you. Let's see. She's typing it out.
Nikki.
She's typing it out for me. It's are you? Hold on. Let me wait for it finished.
Oh, would you stop, Ray?
Are you rock hard?
Stop.
God. Oh well. Shawnee, have you seen the numbers of COVID for Arizona? By the way, Terry just put up another new shirt
Another one.
on
Jeez.
on the Morning Disaster Facebook page. He just put up a new shirt. It's his Sean Balint shirt.
Oh God.
Let me know when you see it. Let me know when you guys see the new shirt he just put up on Morning Disaster Facebook page. Oh my
Oh
God!
boy, I'm not gonna.
It's I bet. Did you see it, Jason?
I'm trying to find it. I didn't even see the last one yet.
Oh God damn! It's so funny. It's the door and scissor hands. It's under the door and scissor hands.
I saw the door and scissor hands, but I don't see.
It's
any
in the
other
same. It's in the same comment.
Just below the scissor hands.
It's a first comment. Or the latest.
Oh, it's in the
comment.
comments. Okay.
Yeah, latest comment.
Oh God.
I bet she has a sloppy vagina. The Sean Balint shirt. I bet she has a sloppy vagina. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sean, did you
You
see?
know, old conversations come back to haunt you.
Did you see? I never revealed who we were talking about when you said that. Did you see the numbers of COVID for Arizona?
Pretty alarming.
And by the way, my brother-in-law has COVID.
Ouch.
My brother-in-law got tested, has COVID.
And your mother-in-law probably does too.
And my mother-in-law, yeah, I think my mother-in-law has it. She she's putting off I don't know. She hasn't gotten the test yet. But she's running around without a mask and she's going everywhere. And she's telling my wife that her president, my president, says. And by the way, I've never heard Donald Trump say, if you have COVID, just act like you don't have it. I haven't heard that, but that's my mother-in-law's impression.
Did you see what Brent posted? He's like, well, it was nice talking to you, Sean. We'll talk to you again in 10 days when you come back.
I do have to keep a low profile sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, especially when sloppy things not called shows come to play.
Oh.
By the way, that slipped out. That was not the. I just want you to know, because I know you weren't listening to the show when it happened. That was not the whole show. It wasn't just me describing. I was talking about lunches that we would go on. So that's how I got into it. And I said,
Well, that's part of
that's
part of the narrative.
Yeah.
We
would
there
go.
were always those.
I love those lunches.
I'd be laid back. I'd be in the back of the room of the conversation, and then all of a sudden I would say something like, "What the hell did you just say?"
But I was talking about how you and I would go to lunch.
I'm barely there. Just
we would
quiet, observant, then I throw something like that out.
We would go to lunch at like a Hooters. And I said, there were Hooters girls that you liked.
Definitely, yeah.
And that you would get angry when they would give us the wrong Hooters girl. And so I would always say, well, just ask for the Hooters girl you want. And you said, no, I'm not going to do that. It's embarrassing. And I would always say that, well, it makes no sense. Just ask for and you wouldn't let me, ask for the girl you wanted because you wouldn't dare do that. And I said, and so the way it slipped out is I said, well, yeah, this one time we were at lunch. There was somebody we worked with that had done something to make us angry. And Sean goes, I bet she has a sloppy vagina. And the Hooters girl heard us. That's how it came out. So the whole conversation wasn't about me busting you for saying someone had a sloppy vagina. You know what I mean? It was the conversation.
Somebody else was caught as far as I thought I was talking about them.
Yes, that's the story I was trying to tell. So I don't want you getting mad.
I do want to get the word out. I do not have X-ray vision. I cannot see through orange.
Yeah, and I do want to say that I've known you for you've been my best friend for many, many years. And it is not frequent that you refer to people as having a sloppy vagina. I mean, you have done it in the past, but you've never seen their vagina. It's just for you, it's an insult. So it's not like you're not like a creep hanging out in the women's bathroom. So.
Peeking under the stall.
You're not some pervert. You're not some pervert peeking under the stalls and taking notes.
I only go into women's restroom by invitation.
And I also want to point out to everybody that keeps saying in the chat room, and I know it bothers her, we were not talking.
Maintenance.
Sean was not talking about Nikki. And I really wish you guys would stop that. Because it really isn't fair. The story is not making fun. It's not about Nikki. The story's about Sean. And he was not talking about her. We were talking about,
I go out in public, disaster follows.
Yeah.
My phone's about to die.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed.
I miss those lunches.
Mm-hmm.
He misses not paying for those lunches.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I brought up. That's the other thing I brought up that I thought might have made you mad. Is I said, Sean's the only guy that when you lose your job, when you get unemployed, Sean's the only guy that'll go to lunch with you and then make you pay. That's the other thing. That's the other thing I said. So if I made
Well, you know, it's there's nothing worse than there's no bigger insult than making someone feel penniless when they've lost a job. You know, it's like, oh, you can't cover lunch, you're unemployed. I'm a big believer in self-esteem, and that's a part of it. It wasn't about trying to be cheap. I mean, come on, you know. I'm into psychology, man.
So you're saying that when I lose my job, when I have lost my job in the past, and we go to lunch and you make me pay, it's an equality issue.
He's trying to make you feel better about yourself that you're still able to afford.
Yeah.
It's for your benefit, absolutely. It's to say to the world that I will not let unemployment stop me from buying lunch. I am not a second-class citizen.
So
I have saved. I am still a man of resources, and you have not heard the last of me. I am buying lunch. It's something
So that's what it was. It was never about. It
what?
was never about you being cheap. You were doing it for me.
Absolutely.
So that even though I lost my
Absolutely.
job, I could still feel normal and still feel.
You still felt like a pimp, you know? I mean, it really is. It's you know what? It really is important to the male ego I've investigated to be able to say, check please, and hand over the card. And so, yes, I've studied this for years, and I think it was a big part of you keeping it together through that period.
Yeah.
But you don't have to thank me.
You never wanted me to feel like, I was on the dole or like
No.
You never wanted me to feel
I wouldn't
like
hear of it.
I was like times were. You never wanted me to realize that times were tough, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because usually,
In fact,
when bad things happen to me, I would expect my friends to reach out to me and go, "Hey man, are you okay?" Like listener TJ, he like made a donation to the Morning Disaster and stuff. He didn't have to, but he did. And it made me feel good. But yet he didn't want to. I know he didn't want to embarrass me by saying he was doing it because he lost my job. But I know that's what was going on. Sean is more like, no, let's keep Ray's head to where he doesn't even realize he's been unemployed. So let's make him pay, because that way he'll feel like he felt when he was working. Yeah.
It's like me when I go to a restaurant, by myself all the time.
That's how it works.
I try to pretend I'm not single and, alone and dateless for the rest of my life. Yes, table for two, please.
Yeah.
Sir, where is the other person? Oh, they'll be here.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's that extra place setting, people at least, complete strangers for 45 to 60 seconds believe that I'm not alone.
Yes.
Yeah, but Sean, you still don't have to buy the extra plate.
Well, Sean just wants me to feel normal.
I think it's paid off, and I've got other various other situations. For instance,
I never have to face
I
never have to face the indignity of unemployment with Sean, because
no.
He makes me feel like I'm just a normal person.
I mean, you can invite me over to watch a pay-per-view, and again, I'm not going to be one of those people. Like, let's say there's a WWE pay-per-view like WrestleMania. I'm not going to go say, "Well, Ray, we all know you don't have a job here. I just did a GoFundMe. We're paying for it." No, I'm not going to strip you of your dignity. Go in there and shred you of your dignity. No, I'm going to let you pay.
I do remember back in the 90s and early 2000s when I would order everybody would come to my house, and I would order the pay-per-view and pay for it, and everybody who came to my house would say, "Hey man, thanks for getting Royal Rumble. Here's $5." And Sean would never, ever stoop to that level to make me feel as bad as those people would make me feel when they would drop the $5 off and thank me for buying all the pizzas and paying for the pay-per-view.
You know,
Sean would never, ever make me feel
Yeah,
bad
because
by
by
giving
then
me
you already had
any
over
money.
$100 invested in it.
That's like that's the same. He got it from Jimmy. Jimmy's another one who would never have me face the indignity of accepting money for my generosity.
well, you know, and Jim, you know, hats off to Jim too, because he appreciated what you spent. I mean, he would never let some meal you bought that you didn't finish eating. He would never let that go in the trash.
Yeah.
Jim always stepped up.
Yep.
Sure, if it was something you ate half of and your teeth marks were all over it, or if you were a woman and your lipstick was all over it, that wouldn't stop Jim from
Oh,
making your contribution to dinner
by the way,
go to waste.
God rest
You were
Jimmy.
someone with
all that?
false teeth that Efferdent all over the food.
You guys,
Nah,
in the
Jimmy
history of the morning disaster, there was never a meal that my wife ate that Jim did not eat the scraps off of her plate. Am I lying, Sean?
would stop.
Every time
Nope.
it was a meal where my wife was involved, she's notorious. She never eats all her food. Even today, by the way. Even today, she never eats all the food on her plate. Jimmy would always eat whatever's left. No matter what. There was I've told you the story before about the time we went to the seafood restaurant, and there were pieces of shrimp where he ate the tails and all the garbage on her plate. There was even a time where she got like a fillet that had a toothpick in it, and there was bacon wrapped around the fillet, and she pulled the toothpick out, and some of the bacon had come off on the toothpick, and Jim picked up the toothpick, ate the bacon, and then sucked the juice from the fillet out of the toothpick from her garbage, from her scraps. That's
You know, if
that's
there
what
was
Jimmy
a
did.
food fight and you were trying to hide the crime scene, Jimmy was like, he would be like Harvey Keitel's cleaner in Pulp Fiction. That he could get rid of any scraps or remnants of food, much like a vulture. I mean,
I'm gonna get.
there's a piece of roadkill that's been dead for 2 weeks and smells like fuel,
Sean,
animal feces, and whatever else, and entrails. Well, that's. Let's see here. Not a month old. I'm going to go ahead and start nibbling on it.
Sean, I don't know if you were there for this or not, but I for some reason I remember you being there. Do you remember we got done with a pickles gig one night, and it was really early in the morning, and we were driving back from wherever the gig was. I don't know if it was in Clinton or so, but it was somewhere on where we had to drive 54. So it could have been Macon or Pana or, whatever, or Clinton or Decatur or wherever. And we went to that truck stop on Camp Butler Road. I forgot what it's called. The truck stop there, Road Ranger.
Or 55 or something.
Yeah,
like
whatever it's called. Do you remember when Jim got in the fight with the waitress? Because
Yes.
she threw the busboy came.
Yes.
The bus.
It was as if she performed an act of sacrilege in a church sanctuary.
And there were people that had left, and they left the plates, and Jim was eating the garbage. And the waitress got mad at him, and he got in a big argument with her over him eating the garbage. He got into a gigantic argument with her where he was saying, "Hey, what do you care? It's just garbage. And the more I eat, the more shit you don't have to clean up." He was literally eating it out of the garbage. out of the like they have this. The busboy has this little thing that he carried around, okay? And he would put all the dirty plates and stuff in this thing. Jim was eating out of he was eating the leftovers out of that. And the waitress came and told him, "You're not allowed to do that." And he went ballistic and got in this huge argument. And here's what I remember. I remember Jamie and Tony and I laughing. But for some reason, I remember you being there. And I remember we were laughing at the argument Jim was having with the waitress. Because he kept saying, "It's just whatever I don't eat, you don't have to clean up. I don't understand why you're bitching. I don't know what your problem is." And that was his logic in arguing with the woman. And now, I got to tell you, at the time I thought it was ridiculous. Now, I'm sitting here 52 years old or however, whatever. I forgot how many years ago this was. And I'm telling you, I think he was absolutely right. I think Jim's argument, it took me all this time to come to the conclusion, Jim was probably right. Everything that he ate was stuff that they didn't have to clean. I don't know what the problem was with him eating the garbage, now that I think about it. But he did get into an argument.
That's a good question. And the funny thing is, you mentioned all this stuff. If he were alive today, like Governor Pritzker would bring him up during a press conference on COVID-19. Now, restaurants need to be sanitary, and a classic example of a coronavirus threat would be, local radio personality Jim the photographer, who takes food off everybody's plate and eats out of trash cans and takes discarded expired meat. He would come up with like 22 different examples of how Jim was a coronavirus threat. Sharing the same hitter pipe. I mean, it would go on and on.
He was doing, he was eating leftover bacon, pancakes, you name it. If it was someone else's trash, he would eat it. It was the most insane thing you'd ever seen. And it would have been easy for me to just go, "Jim, just order something. I'll pay for it." But I got to be honest. I'll admit now, I got a kick out of him eating garbage.
I mean, it was a spectacle. I mean, you're half awake, and you're just looking for something to entertain you. And all of a sudden, there's Jim meeting a new person. "Hey, I'm Jim the photographer from the radio. I see you're done with your food."
He would go introduce himself to people.
That looks like a delicious pudding shoe.
He would introduce himself to somebody. Jason, you gotta hear this. He would say hi to someone who he just met in a place while they're eating, and they would be happy to meet Jim the photographer from the radio, right? And while he was talking to them, he would steal their food from their plate and eat it. Literally, and he would sit across from them and go, "It's a pleasure to meet you. How I," and he would take his fork from where he was sitting, and he would reach across and he would grab a forkful of their food and then eat it right off their plate. And they would never say anything.
Many years ago when QLZ did the bowling league, I was actually part of that, and Jim was on that too. And I think there were a couple times where I saw him scavenging for scraps off food people ordered from the counter.
By the way, Jeff is in the chat room. He says he did it to me at Hooters in Bloomington. Yeah, none of that surprises me. That's exactly what he would do. And I've seen him.
I don't know.
He'd grab a pancake off of someone's plate, like a full pancake. He would
pancake pandemic.
Yeah, he would take a fork of it and then he'd roll it up and then he'd eat the pancake while talking to the person. Literally, he just ate their pancake and they would let him get away with it. Or French fries, or
I think here's the is Jim's spirit animal, this is the question, I think. Was it the vulture who aggressively took discarded food, or is he more the catfish, a bottom feeder? who just took all the crap that fell to the bottom.
He was more like a raccoon who would just come
That's
steal the
what I
food.
was thinking. The raccoon.
Go steal the food out of the dumpster. No, but I mean, I've seen him where someone gets fried. They get over easy eggs. I have seen Jim grab their toast. Okay, while he's talking to them, he would grab someone's toast and then he would poke his toast or their toast that he's grabbed. He would poke it into the yolk, letting the yolk drip all out of the person's eggs all over their plate, and he would be sopping it up with the person's toast and eating it while having a conversation with them. And it was a pleasure to meet him. They still wouldn't say anything like, don't do that to my food, man. Nobody would say that. In fact, there were several times people would say, hey, do you want to tell me if this sounds familiar, where they would go, hey, do you just want a plate? Can I just buy you a plate? And he would go, yeah, sure. And they'd end up buying him a plate, and he'd end up sitting at the table with them for like an hour. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. And I'm telling you, a whole breed died. When he died, an entire breed of people just went away. I mean, nobody does that shit anymore.
Yeah.
No one is that brave. Jimmy was the last
He was
guy.
Joe Dirt. He was up. He was everything.
I could not even imagine if I'm eating somewhere and some guy comes up and starts telling me who he is and literally starts eating my food off my plate. I don't know what I would do. People all the time handle that with Jim the photographer.
Yeah.
And they just let it go.
I mean, I'd have to. I mean, you know, when I think of like eating someone's food, like if let's say somebody decided they didn't want to finish a steak, you know, okay, I'm even family, I'm still going to cut away, you know, that like DMZ, that 15% of the food buffer zone.
Yes.
I'm going to cut that away.
No, Jimmy did not have that. He didn't care.
What does the stranger?
He would take a piece of toast that people have bit and eaten half of. He would literally pick it up out of the garbage and eat it and start with the part that your mouth had touched.
Okay.
That's how he rolled.
That's our.
Hey, by the way, I want to say happy
Fearless.
birthday. I want to say happy birthday to my sister-in-law, Debbie, who is probably working and not listening to us live, but might catch the replay. So, Deb, if you're listening, happy birthday to you. I just want to get that out there because I know I'll forget later on. So, and I believe Jimmy ate off. I believe Jimmy ate off of her plate as well at her wedding.
You weren't off the family until Jimmy ate off your plate.
Because Jim married her and my brother. Remember? It was Jimmy that married my sister-in-law Debbie and my brother Rick. And then at their wedding,
unknowingly dooming both of their souls to hell upon the path.
At her wedding, Jimmy ate off of her plate. Oh my God! I just looked at the time. Well, it's after 10 o'clock.
Do you have babe take Rick to be a lawfully wedded husband?
Leave it to Sean to make the show go longer.
I'm not sure if, by the way, I'm just wondering if Nikki really, if her phone was really dying.
Or she's just trying to get out of the conversation.
Yeah, or if she just didn't want to get into the sloppy vagina conversation. Because when everyone started guessing, and Sean's on now, we could tell you, we were not, and I seriously want to say this because I don't want Nikki thinking it. We were not talking about Nikki. Of course not.
Anytime I ever said it in the chat, I was just joking.
But I think Nikki thinks that she might think that and that I'm telling you, it was certainly not about Nikki. It was somebody that you guys don't even know.
That's the kind of thing I would say out of anger, not out of snobbery.
Yeah. And Sean certainly had never, you've never seen that person's real vagina, right? I mean, he never saw that person's vagina.
I've seen. I really, I'm. It's like being a rare art collector. Yes, I've seen a very select few.
Yeah, but
So
For a second, I thought he was going to say, "I've seen some sloppy ones in my day." But she's a cake.
well, no, I tried to when I told the story, I tried to say what he said was he goes, is that well, we had worked with the woman and she had done something to really piss us off. All right. And I just want to make this clear that it was not, he's not a person that goes around talking about women's vaginas. That's not what it was. We were pissed at this person. And the whole thing was, it was more like him saying, I can't believe that she was so bitchy. You know what I mean? That's sort of the tone.
and that's what, and keeping it to something like that was would have been something that offended her because she had no doubt.
Yeah.
You know, she had no intellect or any deeper value. So you go right after stuff like that because she really was a simple one-dimensional person.
And the whole thing was, the person, she had said something about us that was based on stereotypes and just what people assumed. And he was pissed. And Sean goes, I bet that bitch has a sloppy vagina. I mean, there's the exact quote. He goes, I bet that bitch has a sloppy vagina. That's what it was. So I don't want anybody thinking, like I said, I don't want anybody thinking he was going into the women's bathroom and spying on people. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a comment of someone we had worked with, had done something particularly nasty. And he was just commenting on how nasty it was. That's all it was. So he certainly never saw this person's vagina. In fact, it was like, can you believe the person who has to look at that vagina? You know what I mean? It was like that. It was just anger at someone. And by the way, I don't even think we stayed angry at that person. And it's nobody that any of you guys would know. And it certainly isn't Nikki. Nikki's never been anything but a close
I'm assuming
friend.
it was somebody that worked like in the office.
Yeah, it was someone that worked on the other side of the building. That's exactly right. That's what it was. It was nobody that anyone would know, which is one of the reasons that I'm leaving. I'm not going to put their name out there. I just thought it was funny that, there was anger over me just making that comment because I was just, it just slipped out. And the whole point of the story was that he said that while a Hooters girl.
If it wasn't as sloppy, Ray, it wouldn't have slipped out.
Well, listen, he said it while a Hooters girl that he didn't even want waiting on us was waiting on us. She was coming up right behind him and he goes, I bet that bitch has a sloppy vagina.
She probably thought she was talking about her.
That was the point of the story. It was never about the person that we worked with. The point of the story was just how funny the moment was when Sean was telling the story. That's what it was. It was never about. So when you guys, the listeners, made all the hubbub about this, you were concentrating on the sloppy vagina. That wasn't the point. The point was the moment of
mistaken identity.
Yes, of the person walking up on Sean as he was saying something that had nothing to do with them. And it might have been that the poor Hooters girl thought we were talking about her. That was the point of the story.
Okay, now she may actually not want Sean to be her customer from then on.
Yeah, that was. But I'm just saying, if he would have been honest when we first walked in and said, I want so-and-so to be my Hooters girl, all of this would have been saved.
And Sean, just so you know, the waitresses, hairdressers, they don't care if you specify somebody. It just shows that you actually trust that person more with your food or your hair, depending. They don't take offense to it, man. There's no reason to think you're hurting somebody's feelings.
I mean, I tipped them. They don't care. But still, it's.
And I was good enough to be. to let you tip because, again, there's nothing worse than acting like you have to count pennies and dimes. And I'm not going to put you through that. I'm not going to put you through that.
Because you are a hero.
And if you ever want to go through that again, let me know.
So,
Absolutely.
so now I understand
I
why
encourage
every time I lose my job, you have me pay for lunch. Now I know why. Oh my
Hey,
God.
I want to offer this to everybody. I mean, it's going to be difficult because of availability, but anybody going because of COVID-19 on the verge of losing a home, the wife's about to leave you, you know, you're going through that kind of, you kind of feel like the whole world's beating you down and thinks less of you. Give me a call and I'll let you buy lunch and let you feel restored. Let you feel a renewed sense of vigor.
Sean will
Now,
he will rejuvenate your emotions. He'll rejuvenate your mood. He'll rejuvenate your mood. By the way, Pete says,
yeah, in fact,
so it's about bad timing. Is there a good time to say someone has a sloppy vagina?
the second here, the guy who's buying me lunch at noon is at a payday loan store. I got to help him
Oh God.
find the place.
Oh my God.
Yeah. One was.
Hey, let me
I'll meet you at noon. Okay.
let me ask you something, Sean. Here's what I the chair that I sit on. I sit on this chair. It's a recliner that doesn't recline anymore. Okay. So I'm thinking I want to get a new chair. And so my wife has started looking for a new chair for me. But I told her, I said, you know, Sean got a nice new chair right before he got fired. And I was telling my wife, I said, he got it from, and she goes, where'd he get it from? And I told her the place, but I said it was out of town, right?
Yeah, Hendricks.
Yeah, I said he got it from that place in Verdon. Because she wanted to look for where you got the chair from. So I wanted to make sure I got it right.
Yeah, they had 3 or 4 nice options. Of course, I always like those people, and you know, Jennifer Hendricks, and you know, always did a great job on TV, and their brother's a pretty cool dude.
So
did some drag racing and some other stuff, and then just said, I can't remember if he played football at Rochester or not.
Do you still have the chair, or is that in storage?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't put it in storage because of bug fears. So, yeah, I've got it in my temporary situation.
So you have it. You have it with you now. That's smart.
Yep.
All right. We're just. And it's a good chair, right?
Well, I'm a little. Yeah, because after I went to a certain resale place, which brought Uncle Milty's bed bug farm.
Yeah.
I'm a little leery of.
Yeah, I've never even gotten into that
really
story.
Picky about it.
I've never even gotten into that, but we should probably touch on that.
No. Ray, I'm surprised you're not calling one of your sponsors.
No, well, I should, but she doesn't do recliners.
Oh.
She does office stuff. So, but I wonder. You know, I got to be honest. I wonder if I call Corey. I wonder if she could get. I wonder if she could get a good price on one. That's good. That's a good idea. She usually does office stuff, but that's not a bad idea.
Well, another thing you might want to check out isn't Barney still doing their closing sale right now?
Yeah, we checked there. Yeah.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I didn't even think of Corey. Even though she usually doesn't, I bet she could get one, though, right, for a good price.
I mean, I'm using one of those gaming chairs that you see a lot of the gamers have.
I just want a nice recliner that I could use to do my work on, because I'll work sitting in a comfortable chair on a laptop. That's what I do on my web stuff.
Well, this one reclines too, but I mean, you can't like kick your feet up.
But that's the other thing. I want to, in the middle of the day, if I want to take a nap, it'd be nice to just hit a button and then just take a nap.
It's a good company. Got it, unfortunately.
What is that, buddy?
Oh, I got an interview, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you, buddy.
All right, my brothers.
Take care. Sean Balint, everyone. Oh my God. I love Sean. At least we explained the sloppy vagina comment, and he's not mad at me anymore. Thank God. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, but I should call Corey and find out if she could get that. Hey, today's show has been brought to you by Corey. Core Installation, Furniture and Supply. You can call 741-1079. Usually, it's office furniture. If you need a chair or a desk, or even now, if you need a mask or sanitizer or gloves, she can get all that stuff for you. Call 741-1079. Core Installation, office, furniture and supply. She can get all your stuff taken care of you. DTE Technology. Maybe your business needs an IT guy. Just hire DTE Technology to take care of all that stuff for you. That's what they do. They are your computer experts. They could also save you money. In fact, Rob's been saving customers thousands of dollars per month on setting up phone line systems for them. Give them a call, 481-0001. It's dtetechnologies.com. And our guys at Recontex on the corner of 9th and Black. Recontex. Proof is in the performance. Recontex, 670-1132. Get yourself hooked up for a new detailing on your car that'll include a steam clean and disinfectant on the day of your appointment. In fact, I went there and they took care of, I told you the story the other day, they took care of the crap that was hanging down off the front of my car. And it took them about 2 minutes. Needless to say, I was very upset at myself for taking so long that I didn't get this taken care of, months earlier. They'll do it at Recontex. I want to have Derek on the show next week so we can set up a certain hillbilly going through the car wash, because it is phase 4. Phase 4 means we could actually give Hillbilly Joe a detailing, which he so desperately needs. And we should wrap it up. We've been going. It's almost been 2.5 hours. I want to thank everybody for listening today. Jason, thank you for filling in for Nick.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate it. Thanks to Doran and Nikki, and for Sean Balint, who called in for the last almost hour of the show. It was a lot of fun. You guys, another good week. It was another good week of shows. And I thank you guys so much. Thanks to listener Terry for those T-shirts he made, because those are hysterical. And I will see if we can get T-shirts or coffee mugs or something done with the logos that Terry created, because I think they're fantastic. All right? Tell all your friends that we exist. It's the Morning Disaster, and let them know what they're missing. Let them know the fun that they're missing by not checking out the show on a daily basis, because we are having a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and we'll get out of here today. It's Friday. I feel it's so late. Is it too late to even do Party Town?
What the hell, do it.
Should we just end it?
It's your choice, your show.
I mean, it's so late. All our regulars are. I'm not even sure who's. I'm not even sure who's still listening. I mean, the Jimmy lunch stories, the Jimmy meal stories might have grossed them all out.
True.
They might have already left.
Maybe they'll watch it later on replay.
Yeah. All right, let me see if I can find a version of Party Town that isn't going to get me flagged. Because that usually seems to be
We're getting requests for Party Town
All
in
right,
the
we're
chat.
getting,
So
all right. So people, where do we
People
go
are
on the
still there.
weekend? We go,
we go
to Party Town.
Party Town.
Taking my job, taking my wife, taking my future and taking my life. Taking my car and coming some gas. Hold everybody kiss my ass. I'm gonna fall down. Yeah, I'm gonna fall down. Yeah, gonna have fun. I
Bubba says Brandy, Kristen, and the Revival at Weebles tomorrow night. By the way, the drummer in that band is Dave, who was the drummer with the Pickles. That's Brittany's husband. Our Brandy's husband is Dave. He played with the Pickles. So tell him to do a version of a Pickle song. Tell him to do Lesbian Rocker.
Everybody here is afraid. Couple shooters ago, you can leave everything I don't know about falling down. Yeah, Larry falling down. Yeah, you know they love football, they do it in the Larry falling down. Falling down. Yeah, falling down. Yeah, Larry falling down. Yeah, oh, falling down.
Sure feel good. All right, thank you so much for listening, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Talk to you guys Monday.
You better wake up, sleepyhead, and get your fat butt out of bed. There's a man who got up at 4 a.m. just to play you Zeppelin and Pearl Jam. Raymond Lytle is his name. Some have called him just a bit insane. But you may find him a little idiotic. But his is the only morning show you can say has really got it. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. With Central Illinois' morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it doesn't matter, 'cause he's the morning master of rock and roll and laughter. Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. Sean Bull Scott, news and sports. Bodine's running down North Grand in his undershorts. Michelle will dwell on things colored pink and purple. They'll explain why Jim made a remake of that movie called The Black Hole. Slam the door, turn the key, get on the road now. The Central Illinois morning way to get down. It's nasty, it's dirty, but it's funny, 'cause it's the Raymond Lytle's morning disaster. He's lewd, he's rude, he's crude, but it and roll and laughter. Raymond Laddle's morning disaster.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening. That's going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back next week with a brand new episodes of Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Stick around if you're listening to the stream. On the audio-only feed, you will hear the Morning Disaster replay in seconds. Facebook will also restart this feed in just a few minutes as well. Talk to you guys later. Take care.
There's a little voice on my radio